all the way back in college, a buddy of mine was reading a bunch of Robert Jordan stuff and told me that I need to pick it up. It's really great stuff, and I ended up picking up Eye of the World, and it was one of those things where I typically at that point in time I was reading like espionage, Tom Clancy type stuff, and so I read portions of it and then stopped, and then picked it up later again, and then stopped, and picked it up later again, stopped. And so I didn't get. I read like the first hundred or so pages like four times before I powered through it and said, "Okay, I'm going to continue on." And then by the time I got through the fifth or sixth book, wife and family happened, and and then I put it on the shelf for a while, and then finally picked it up before the show started, got through it all, and uh, didn't regret it. And then I regretted watching the show. I'm a man of Manetheren, and I approve this message.
Last time on Revisiting the Wheel of Time.
Nope. Didn't even know what plaid was until last week, so. Yep. Sir, Nathan, how you doing? And
Living the dream. How are you, brother?
You saying this from Chicago?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's looking over the top of the fence like,
problems.
Not quite yet.
Chicago has its problems, but it has good food. The part of the city I'm in is actually pretty cool.
Glass fucking houses is all I'm saying.
Man, the houses have changed. The city was burned down. Like, I
Hey,
don't know.
spoilers. Okay, now
we
Brian,
know that the city was burned in the
All right.
Iraq War.
well, let's get back to like the key plot point, because obviously debating Kyrie and Mayenne relations, although we find it interesting, I could probably see Nathan would pull out his hair if he had any, and same with Brian. He kind of wants to get going, like. So,
hey, I think does anyone else hear?
I heard
sort of
I heard 5 signals go off all at once.
Yeah, I hear a signal.
Sorry, that was for me. Sorry, that was for me. I was looking at my stream.
It's really
Yeah, it sounds like a Mike Ehrmantraut type person. 5 times.
I didn't hear shit.
Oh,
did I do it?
No, Dane. No, Dane. There's definitely something in there.
No, that was
it's really kind of it's high pitched. It's kind of
It's ringing. Sounds like gunshots.
So we got 5. We got a generosity donation from Matchatech Mags, gifted 5 Oriole memberships. Well, thank you, Mags.
One of his favorite stories growing up as a boy.
Okay, I didn't think of that.
And now the continuation.
And well, we welcome to another week of another Wheel of Time stream. What's up? I'm Nerporial, and let's continue our discussion of the Great Hunt. And so welcome to part 3. And want to say hello to whoever's in the chat. So we got, obviously, panelists are here: Pips and Man Manetheren, we got Joseph Dredd and Louise X Sparrow, and we got 7 watching. So yeah, feel free to chat and say something. So all right, but yeah, everybody, welcome. Thanks for coming by, and can you guys not hear me? So, all right, well, hey, well, let's start with let's see. So, yeah, I don't know. Let me know if you can hear me. I want to make sure people can hear me. So, we'll start with Nathan. What's up, Nathan? Can you hear me?
I can hear you on both the stream and in this in StreamYard, so you're good to go.
Okay, so how you doing? How's your weekend been? Your Sunday?
Oh, my days are going well. I did a preparing for this. I did a whole bum rush listen to of Michael Kramer and Kate Redding the past couple days because I was running low on time and an organization as well. And then I just gotta say, this is such a damn good book. It is so good.
I agree. Like I'm like chapter after chapter. I read 4 chapters today. That's how much I pushed this off to today. So I really liked what I've read. I enjoyed the first chapter, the earliest chapter for tonight, which is chapter 22, with Moraine and Lan in this village, in this house, occupied by 2 elderly Aes Sedai who are trying to write the history of the world, or trying to write their version of the history of the world. So stuff like this I really like because it serves the story. And by the way, I loved I listened to your I was like curious who I should do first for like how for my little intro, who how you got into the wheel time. I felt you were perfect fit for the first one. So
well, thank you. Yeah, because we kind of did a similar kind of thing in a way. It's you read it and it's just kind of tough to get into at times. And there was even a guy on a Discord channel earlier, like, how do I get into this? Because I'm not engaged after 6 or 7 chapters. Like, nah, just keep going. You got to give this book a shot, and especially when the action starts happening, you're going to see everything pay off. But he introduces so many characters in that first 100 pages that it's tough to kind of see the forest for the trees at times.
Yeah. So thanks again. You've been pretty consistent doing this with me for like ever since I started with Eye of the World. So yeah,
it's fun.
I appreciate it. All right. So who is next? Who should I do next? All right. You know what? Let's do the one and only my whiskey bruh, Pips. Oh my God, he grew a mustache.
Hey,
are you okay now? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I was given some useful advice to turn it off and turn it back on again.
Oh my gosh, we have a Mrs. Pips here. Well, welcome to Oriole.
Look at that.
Yep. See, now you've gotten me, all of my alternate accounts, and my wife are all subscribed. I don't know. I don't think she's a member of the Nerdporial Continuum, though. We'll work on that. That said, I'm not sure that I want her to grow extra chest hair and like all of the other things that come along with being a member of the Nerdporial Continuum, which I feel like you might have another representative here who can really extol the virtues of joining the Continuum. Is there maybe another member of the chat tonight?
Member of the chat. I don't know.
Remember the panel. He's in the chat too.
He's in the chat. I don't know. It's going to be very awkward. I mean, we're streaming brothers, and I don't know. Like, I'm just concerned. I just want to make sure he has, vision insurance for this. So, but without further ado, I want to welcome the one and only Prophet of the Dragon.
I am everywhere. I have evolved. Because of the Continuum, I have reached a higher plane of existence because of your membership perks.
So what would you be then? I mean, what
I am everything. I'm like the Highlander. I won the prize, man. Come on.
So how you doing, Steve?
I don't know. I'm okay. I'm still
You're
shocked.
okay.
I'm still shocked from what I saw earlier. I'm sort of yeah. I don't know. I had to go like punch myself in the face a few times, and I'm okay now. So I'm good.
Don't
I
you have,
forgot
like,
the- I
don't you
forgot
have, like,
what we're
a
doing
chemistry
here, but
lab? You
yeah.
have like an eye wash station to wash your eyes out from
I'll
from
just get
the
some bleach and be like, ah. Yeah.
the bleach will
I
kill your eyes.
It's starting to get a little hurtful here. Like, I mean, come on.
Hey, he's
he has
seasoned
feelings,
under
man.
No, he doesn't. He's good. He's fine. He's a rock.
It's true.
I mean, look at
does
he's
the
a
nerd
rock.
Oriole
I
have
saw him,
feelings?
dude. I saw him walk like 20 miles last night to his closed donut shop, and he did not freak out. Like, what a Chad! Like, and then he walked another 10 miles the other way to get a hot dog. It's like, man, look at this guy go. He's my
Well,
hero.
then you
I
gotta
gotta
tell
say.
him how I stopped the car. I just put out my hand and I stopped the car.
He did do
you
a
know,
flippy
just-
kick and kick a guy in the face. That was amazing. Right in the car too. He just like did. You see,
Well, see,
it's not.
How
I'm not
much glass was
exaggerating.
destroyed?
But
Are we
here's the
talking about-
thing.
He didn't even break the glass. He like
That's
melded through
it.
right? I mean, it's
he's-
just like Go ahead,
He's in
sorry.
Chicago. He should be able to break glass without any issues.
Well,
It happens every day there. Well, with
Well,
shooting
I mean,
people.
this is not the peripheral, Nathan. This is not the peripheral. There's
That's what I was trying to get at. Yeah.
I am not a
Yeah.
habitual liar. Okay, come on. I only speak the truth. Why?
I mean,
yeah, of course. Yeah, of
That's
course we-
exactly what a
of course we
habitual
believe
liar would say.
you. Of course we believe you. Oh yeah, but so today we are here to talk about chapters 22 through 34 of The Great Hunt. And like I said, or maybe I didn't say it, I don't know, I forget sometimes. I just read the last 4 chapters today. Like I finished 34 like a couple hours ago.
So not like normal when you've read everything. Oh wait, no, this is exactly normal.
Yeah, this is totally normal. So I'm unprepared. I'm just I have tarvalon.net in front of me just to help me remember certain details.
Tarvalon.net. Don't go there.
Why? It doesn't have too much.
Aes
It doesn't have
Sedai
too
witches are there. Why would you go there?
much. Well, I mean, I'm already.
Think of
you know,
episode 6.
I'm the great game Poriel now.
A silly place.
I'm being manipulated regardless. So I mean,
The wiki's fine. Just go to the wiki. You don't need Tarvalon.net.
yeah.
Dragomat actually does a good read through, but sorry for
Mhm.
all the bad they do. But yeah,
Yeah.
Drag 'em
Well,
out.
it's because the read through was done years ago when they were actually still a fan site.
this true.
Right.
All right, so where are we starting? I don't even know what we're doing. What chapter? See, that's how prepared I am.
22.
Okay.
Chapter 22. It's called Watchers. So this is a Moraine centric chapter, and well, she and Lan are in this city, or I don't know if it's a city or a town. Typhon's Well, however you pronounce it.
It's like a village.
It's in Arafel, which I think is east of was it Terrebonne or Elmeth Plain or something. It's down. It's roughly around there, right? I think.
It's on the Borderlands.
Oh, so it's up north. So it's up
Yeah.
north by the Blight and all that. Oh,
Yeah, the
okay.
Borderlands are
Mhm.
Shinar, Arafel, Kandor, and Saldea.
Oh, okay.
Real
Yeah.
quick, DJ Ronnie, and if you're reading, and just be careful. We're in the second book, so if you don't want to be spoiled, just be careful, my friend. Just saying. I know I know DJ's just trying to get into it now.
Well, I think he's on Eye of the World 7.
Yeah, no, I know.
Like,
That's why
he read
this was
chapters. Like, why should I keep reading this? And I literally said, like, chapter 5 and 6 is what really kind of sold me, and that's why I read the entire book, even at first. You know, your experience with Rand, something he's never experienced before, and it's someone trying to kill him. And Jordan does this really well because he himself was, you know, he knows because he was in Vietnam. So he was able to bring that extra level of, you know, detail and texture to those to those chapters, and I really like that, and that's what really got me invested in Rand in the first place. So yeah, I would say keep reading it. It's really I like it a lot. I like it a lot. I wouldn't
I
like.
hope it does. I hope so.
I wouldn't
sorry,
tell you.
I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to.
And
distract
after
you.
saying that, you should like this video, bookmark it, and then come back to it when you're reading the Great Hunt, because we are going to spoil
Yes.
lots.
Yeah, we're going to be spoiling the shit out of this especially this portion of the book, which is in the middle. So you're going to have no idea what we're talking about. So hope you enjoy.
Except
Except for as soon as you, sorry.
At the same time, we'll be telling Brian the entire time to read and find out.
True.
Oh shit! That means I have to get more booze. I already drank all the.
Well, you just go to jury duty tomorrow. It'll be fine.
Oh yeah. I can bring my computer. I can work on. I can do some more reading. Maybe get that Lord of the Rings read. Get jump start on that, and maybe work on my video that I've been meaning to work on. So, all right, let's get started. So this is a Moraine chapter. So Moraine and Lan are together. Obviously, Lan's the warder, and they're in Arafel, and they're hanging out. They're staying with these two elderly Aes Sedai. Adelaus and Vandene, and they have more information, they have more documents, they have more access to the legends than I think anywhere else, even the White Tower. Correct me if I'm wrong. And I think
just anywhere outside Tar Valon.
Yeah, they're very well read. Yeah,
she doesn't want to deal with going back to the White Tower, which is interesting given what Rafe Judkins did.
Yeah, the White Tower is really small. 3 rooms. I mean, that's a mess.
Plus
one hallway
with BS and Moraine does everything she can to avoid the White Tower because it interferes with her life's work, basically, right? So, but I'd say those two are very. I mean, they're probably the best source of information, but outside the tower, like Pip said, I think that's the best way to put it. I think.
Okay. All right. So then. Okay, then I stand corrected on that. But if I really like this chapter because I like it when characters try to find answers to unanswered questions, especially that have already been established. It's questions that the reader is kind of wondering about. Like, for instance, I mean, she's trying to piece together why the Dragon Reborn and Toman Head. Why, what is the Dragon Reborn's connection to the Horn of Valyr? What's that connection to the final battle, the Ragnarok Ragnarok or Armageddon, that type of deal. Like, how is this all connected? And Lanfear is another question. And I mean, she's getting some answers from the sisters, and some of it like Lanfear and I forget what the other question was. They have no idea how to piece together what was in that prophecy from earlier. So, so while she's doing that, we get this nice little dialogue between her and Lan. So apparently, she wants to, if she feels like she's going to be dead soon, so she wants to give Lan to another Aes Sedai, which I think is frowned upon, if I remember correctly.
Matt, it hasn't
been done in a long time.
Yeah, especially with I don't want to go too far.
Passing your bond is sort of on the edge of respectability. It just hasn't been done in a long time.
Right.
Bonding someone without their permission or against their will is the thing that is like
blasphemy.
And this is where Moiraine kind of crossed the line because she did that, passing the bond without talking with Lan about it. That's why he's so pissed off.
Yes. So because it's right on the edge of like it's not necessarily technically the same thing because she kind of told him, but he didn't have a choice. So it's right there. It's right there.
I think we learned a little bit of how they met. Like apparently he saved her life. He pushed her into a stream or something. If I remember correctly.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
That was a raging river.
A raging river that she should have died in. Oh, sorry. No, something like that. I don't know. I think it's beyond, but I know you're saying it's sort of on the line, but I think she does it for a good reason, but she's completely out of line. Moraine passing the bond like that. I mean, it's like I won't have you dead. It's like, well, it's not your choice. I mean, she just takes any choice away from him. So, especially by Aes Sedai law, I think it's way gone over the edge. But I mean, I guess that's not an important detail. But
yeah, I don't think it's worth debating.
No, it's not. It's frowned upon. It's fine with me. I think that's more than enough.
It's no finer points of sort of Mayan politics,
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
And I think the other thing that I think was really brought up was Moraine starts, questioning Land about his loyalty, I believe, or like whether their bonding is in jeopardy or if it's being, as it says here, chafed.
Does your bond chafe? Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, can't wait to see this scene adapted.
Right.
There's going to be something chafing. It's going to be
underwear
not
chafing, and he rips them off. He's like, It's like, oh my god.
Land with a ball gag.
No.
Sorry, we're not talking about the show.
My god.
I'm sorry. I'm crossing the line.
Well, that's in reference to his feelings to a certain person, right?
Yeah, Nynaeve.
Yeah.
And I think maybe that might be connected to why he helps Rand in the beginning of this book, teaching him, the ways of the sword and everything, and of course how it pays off with every attack is like a sentence or something. Like the moon is over the moon is the moon is well over the lake or something like that. I forget the names of the
sword forms. Yeah,
there's
swords
the bank.
Everything. And of course she's asking him like why did you teach him to be this way in front of the Amyrlin? And he's like, Ta'Veren.
Yes.
It just felt right. It just felt right. So
yeah,
I kind of believe it.
I think that he, just like Nynaeve has softened him up a little bit, and Moraine is sensing that. I think that the boys have kind of probably grown on him a little bit, specifically Rand. But
well, I mean, Duty, right? I mean, he's sort of in the same position as Rand. Duty is heavier than a mountain, right? So Rand knows that better than anybody. I'm sure he feels that Rand has if he doesn't feel it yet, he's going to have the weight of the world on his shoulders. So maybe he's sort of preemptively preparing him to try and deal with some of those things, because Land has basically the weight of the Borderlands on his shoulders all the time, right? So,
yeah, well, I mean, that's when you consider that, with what Rand has coming up for him, Land knows how to deal with the Aes Sedai and knows how to deal with the White Tower. And if Land doesn't kick him off in the same way to be able to, right as he does at the start when he meets Swan, then he's going to be twisting in the wind in terms of the politics, in terms of how to respond, to be his own man. And so when Land does that, he's really kind of thumbing his nose a little bit at the establishment from the position of what he has to do as king of the Malkier, and knows that Rand has that same kind of thing going for him.
Yep.
Interesting. So
there's a particular part of this chapter that you got pretty pumped about while you were reading it, though, from your comments in our Discord, right?
You're talking about how it ends. You're talking about how it ends with a particular creature that appears out of nowhere.
We have no idea what you're talking about. What are these creatures? Sorry. Probably my favorite Shadow Spawn, actually. I don't know why. I like.
It was menacing. Like it was refreshing. I mean, we see it at the end of Eye of the World with her engaging the Forsaken, especially Aginor. But like this was one point where you actually were concerned. I was actually worried about Moraine, despite how powerful Moraine is as an Aes Sedai. So the fact that even she can be taken out, by Shadow Spawn was very interesting, and I'm really curious, like who sent this creature, and why is she trying? Why is why is she trying to be silenced in this? She's targeted in particular for this.
Well, I think it also shows that Agnor and whoever directed him to make the Shadow Spawn, pretty much knew what he was doing in most parts, because I mean that is an Aes Sedai killing weapon right there. Just that pretty much, and once it's in your grip, you're pretty much, she got really, really lucky.
Yeah,
she got really lucky. So it's like, when you're making a weapon, make it well, right? So I think Drakkar are very, very dangerous. I wish they were utilized a little bit more in the series, but I think sparingly is good too, because you're not just like over drenched in, like, it's like, oh, it's another Drakkar. It's like they show up as like, oh shit, right? They're not everywhere, right? They're
yeah, you want it to have some impact.
Yeah.
You don't want to keep repeating stuff to the point where it becomes meaningless,
right,
in its appearance. I can definitely see what you mean.
Yeah.
There's a few different types of Shadow Spawn that kind of fill that sort of role of like not being very common, but when they are there, they definitely get the closest out of really anyone. So the fact that you can't always be on guard all the time, you can't be 100% vigilant all the time, allows them to be effective. The part that I really like about that scene is Moiraine's internal dialogue, where so Jordan creates them as like kind of an interesting type of succubus, where it's not it's not the like sexual or lustful or whatever, right? But it's this lulling, it's the putting your defenses down, it's basically making you like want to sort of surrender and just like be swept away. The oblivion, and she could like feel herself like trying to fight it and then like just giving up and knowing that she was going to die and knowing she didn't actually want to stop it. And it's just a really interesting spin on something that's been done a lot of times, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this reminded me of there were moments in like a lot of works, like a lot of you had your sirens from Greek mythology that would sing, and they would target ships that were traveling, and that Odyssey, I believe, was the story. And if you got close enough to them, they freaking kill you. They turn into a monster and eat the shit out of you or something. So. And then there was something similar in the movie Vampire Hunter D, the anime that I did a serial horror thing on. The hero or the anti-hero goes into the castle, the villain, the count, and falls into a trap, lands in the bottomest of cellars, and encounters a very similar type of creature. But instead of it being a winged creature that flies, it was like a 3-headed serpent, but it's still took the form of something beautiful, sang, and once it sang, once you heard its voice, you were no longer in control of your own faculties. So similar idea here. So of course we have the Land Ex Machina. Land Ex Machina comes in, saves her, and
he could
too.
Well, I mean, he could sense it, so I mean that's something they also like screwed up in the show, but we're not going to go down that. But I mean, he does have a spider sense when it comes to dark creatures, right? So that's not like out of the blue. So it's one of those. Well, it's like, okay, he saved her last minute. There is a precedent for it because both of them can feel, for the most part, feel Shadow Spawn when they're close, right? So.
I thought she had a tell.
Well,
the Drakkar or Moiraine?
I tracked the Drakkar here. Oh shit! Sorry. But yeah, so
that's the show's going to pull that off. Nynaeve is going to track the Drakkar. He can track a falcon on a cloudy day. Wait a second.
I thought Nynaeve was the Drakkar. Sorry, my bad.
Oh man.
So apparently when it dies, it gives this really loud shriek that wakens the entire village. Mm-hmm. And so they have to go and or Jaime, the warder of the two sisters, has to go and tell everybody, oh, everything's okay, while hiding the body and all that. And they're like, how the hell did this thing get close to us? How did we not sense it right away? It was shielded by a certain Black Aja, I think. So apparently some dark friends in there.
Yeah.
Or something else, maybe.
Or something else.
Someone else, yeah. I just think that line there of the two of them just stabbing him and just shouting "embrace death" and just like, yep, just shoving their swords right into the hilts, kill this thing, embrace death. Such a great scene.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
So good.
But yeah, so they're like, okay, we gotta get the hell out of here. So that's the last we see of Moiraine in this stream. So where will we see her next? Who knows?
Huzzah!
Huh?
I said huzzah.
Huzzah.
Get out of here, Moiraine. We're focusing, now back to the good part.
So this was another interesting chapter that I read, and I think I even put down some of my own reactions to it. So we're on chapter 23 now. This is a Nynaeve chapter. So she's trying to become an accepted. And so she's going through her own little trials.
I spoke too soon saying back to the good part.
Oh, the trials, right?
The trials, yeah.
Yeah.
So
the trials of Nynaeve, aka 3/4 of season 2 of the show.
Right.
Yeah, I know. I remember seeing that trailer. I remember watching you guys watching that trailer and everything, and seeing Steve's reaction to it was priceless.
Dude, I need to stop mentioning the show. I'm sidetracking you.
Yeah.
We only got an hour and a half
triggering
left.
himself.
We have more chapters to get through. So she has to go through this like arch, this like very sparkly arch, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And she has to go through she experiences 3 different things. So I think the first thing is she's in like this, she's in this maze. So I couldn't help but think of, like an old Nintendo game, or heck, maybe even The Shining without the hedges and everything. So she's in this maze, and all of a sudden she ends up encountering Aginor, and she's fighting Aginor, and then so she's just fighting Aginor. Aginor, flees her, and the big thing about this, and this is repeated throughout the chapter, is the exit only comes once. Correct me if I'm wrong. Exit only comes once. Be steadfast.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that means you have to leave when you have to leave.
Be steadfast.
Yeah. So whatever you're doing, you have to leave.
Right.
So she does that. So she fights Aginor. That was okay. I was like, okay, she's okay. She the thing was, she remembered. She's not supposed to remember stuff, but yet she remembers that she was using the 1 power. And you're like, how are you using the 1 power in there? Like, what's going on? So that's like the big mystery that really baffles Aes Sedai.
Was it? So hold on. What? Like, was it you're not supposed to, or you can't?
You shouldn't be
They
able
didn't.
to.
Yeah, they don't
should be
think
able
that
to.
you can, right? Because they said all the previous people who had gone in, and wielded the 1 power came back burned out, right?
Right.
But they also like don't really know the rules of Terran-Grial, like, who knows? They said that the first couple Aes Sedai went in and they were warded and all sorts of stuff, and they came back burnt out. So maybe it was the warding and not wielding the 1 power, and most people can't remember, so they don't remember they can channel, so they can't. Like, I don't know. It's never fleshed out.
Yeah, it didn't. They didn't flush it out in there. It almost left it with the impression to me is that the people that have gone in there really since have no idea whether or not they can channel once they're in there,
because they just don't, right?
Do it. And
the
fact that she did, and the fact that she actually remembers that she did,
well,
she could, was amazing.
That's why I mentioned it, because I couldn't remember if it was they told you not. I forgot why they told you not to, because I know there was that point where it's like nobody would, right, or even try, right. And I forgot for a minute why, but yeah. So they're burning themselves out. That's right. Okay. Behave in chat.
Yeah. So that first one was like, it's okay. The second one kind of struck an interest in me. The second one, that we're back in Emmons Field. This is like I'm guessing this is like a what if, another universe type of thing. At least I'd like to think it is. She goes back. She goes back.
It was described, I think, to her that it was going to be a trial of the past, a trial of the present, and what's to come, if I remember correctly. So this was kind of like the present tense trial.
Yeah, I think they say something like, the next is for what was, the next is for what is, the next is what will be or may be, or something like that. I think that's what's said when they enter each time.
Yeah,
and then they just do the normal. The way back comes, but once be steadfast.
Mm-hmm. But this one I thought was pretty. This one was this second one was a lot of fun, at least for me. I enjoyed reading this portion right here. So she's back in Emmons Field. So there's been some time has passed. They have a new wisdom. And this wisdom has been pretty much a complete crazy bitch. Like she can beat the shit out of people. She kills people with her potions and poison if they don't do what she says. And everybody's scared to death.
She's a witch.
Yeah, everybody's scared to death of her. Like even Mrs. Alvear, Egwene's mother, who's I think she runs the women's circle. She's deadly afraid of her, and I felt that. And we find out like Mr. Alvear is dead. I think Senbui is the Senbui.
Yeah,
is
Senbui.
Senbui is the mayor.
So I guess this is a question: are we thinking that these Terran Grawl, because that's what they are playing off her fears and really them back on her? Because my thought with that whole thing, especially reading it a second time, is how little she thinks of her Edmund Field people that she thinks they would be taken over that simply. I was sort of like, wow, she really doesn't think much of her people.
That's an interesting take on it.
Yeah,
I mean, it is explicitly her facing her fears, right? Like that's literally what they say about it. So that is true, but I think that's an interesting take. I don't think I thought of it that way before, but early book Nynaeve kind of sucks. Like she is hard to get along with.
Yeah, because it's just like, I left and everything fell apart, and it's like,
I'm curious. I'm curious if this is setting something irrelevant, huh?
Read and find out, I guess. I don't know. Huh?
Okay.
No, I don't even think that's. I don't know. I don't think so, to be honest.
All right. Okay. Well, that was a shame. It would have been fun. I think
when they go back to Emmons Field, there's a giant fucking mountain that. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, we'll put it this way: you'll see Emmons Field again.
Yep, you will.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, not too long.
I'm like, are we meeting a future adversary for Nynaeve? Are we meeting Nynaeve's antagonist or something? Because I'm like, you know what, I can deal with that. I mean, I can get into that.
I guess that's a read and find out, huh? I mean,
yeah,
because I guess
we're not going to say about who her adversary is or isn't or anything like that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna hold the line on that one. And
I like how you're smirking right now, Pips. I'm curious what's to come now.
Lots. Don't worry about it. She has many parts. Nynaeve has many parts to play. Don't you worry.
Apparently, I think that Nathan, wasn't you that said like she changes the most out of any character?
Probably.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think. Well, I don't know. I mean, you can always make that point with Rand.
I was going to say, I think that her arc is on par with Rand's arc in terms of the transformation of the character. Mm-hmm. Probably on par with Egwene's arc as well. I would say in terms of like arcs where a character goes from one spot to another and really goes through a transformation, I think the three of them have the most distance. I don't know. Steve, you look like you disagree with me.
No. I'm thinking about whether I want to say something or not. Just because Nynaeve earns a lot of respect from me because of how she holds herself in later books compared to her compatriots, as they've gone out in the world and learned certain things. How Nynaeve acts towards certain people, she earns a lot of respect from me. Compared to how other people who left at the same time act to the same people. That I guess I don't give away anything like that, but I think you guys know what I mean.
Yeah, and there was one other thing I forgot to bring up from the last chapter that made me very curious. I know it's gonna be read and find out, but 5 ride forth.
Oh God, yeah. Read and find out. Don't even go any further.
Yeah, I know. So it makes me
I'll
think
just cut you
that
off.
it just makes me think that maybe one of them does not make it.
One of who?
I won't say. I'm going to hold this close to my chest for now.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but
for us, that's a watch and find out.
Whatever you're thinking,
it's wrong.
For us, that's a watch and find out.
Yeah. I'm interested to see when we get there. So I just want to say you will know no more in this book. That's all I'll go. But read and find out.
Okay. But yeah, I think the last one, the last trial is the future. And I think this is so everything, like, I'm assuming everything everybody's dreams came true. Nynaeve is married to Lan. They have kids, I believe. Melchior is rebuilt. The 7 towers are standing again, and they're standing again. How with people instead of bad creatures and shall spawn,
trees.
They're described as looking like towers, actual towers. That's important.
Black sticks in the area. Yeah.
Interesting.
And I think doesn't she have like I think she has like she imagines she has like a vision in this. She has a vision or something here where there's thorns piercing her flesh. And it allows her to channel or something.
My interpretation of that scene,
it made me think of what happened earlier with Rand in the first book, where he is having that dream and he gets hit by a thorn, and he brings that little prick back with him when he wakes up.
Mm-hmm. So my interpretation of that scene is that she is trying so hard to channel in order to manifest this gateway. And so in her mind, she's thinking of this blackthorn sort of rose, right? And she's trying so hard to grasp onto the rose and Saidar while also trying to picture and fix the image of the doorway in her mind. And so she's manifesting unintentionally. She's manifesting the doorway, but she's also manifesting the thorns. And so it's essentially leakage from poor concentration has always been my interpretation of that scene, that she's trying so hard. She's feeling the pain of how much Saidar she's drawing in because she's right at her limit. And she's picturing 2 things in her mind at the same time. She's picturing this doorway, and then she's fixing the thorny flower, and both of the 2 things end up manifesting.
I think it's fair enough. Yeah.
I
didn't really think about it too much, but I think, that sounds good to me. Unless you have a thought, Nerporeal. I see you going, huh?
Well, that goes into, though, what the Shuriam says afterwards. There is always a price. You have paid the first price. Take what you've paid for.
Interesting. But I liked how she's just like, I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here. I got to get away from this. And she sees the gate, and she misses the gate initially, And I think how she gets out, I think, is how because she channels herself out, right? I think that's how she leaves.
Basically, yeah.
So she forces the arch to reappear and then flees, and Lan's like, "Don't go, don't go. I can change. You know." And it's just it's heartbreaking. It's
was
something
showing.
Stella.
You know, it's funny.
nipples.
I don't know if you guys are aware, but whenever people leave, you know, streams or in my case, work before me, I always, you know, make a comment saying, "Is it something I said? I can change. I can change." You know, it's not you, it's me. So, but yeah, so yeah, and I believe this was she's just like she gets out of it. She's like, "I hate all Aes Sedai. How dare you put me through this?" And they're like, "Oh, it's okay. It's common. Yeah, people usually feel that way." But yay, hey, congrats! You are now an accepted.
Yep. Bravo.
Yay!
Yay!
Accepted
Go scrub
of the
some
tower.
pots. Go scrub some pots. Biatch. Oh, sorry.
Isn't that what Egwene just generally does? Like she's supposed to be scrubbing pots, and she's supposed to report to like a prefect woman or something. I forget.
Not
Okay,
Mistress
so
of
I
the
know-
Novices.
Pedra.
I know I said I was going to avoid show stuff, but I have to ask a question here for the panel. Since obviously scrubbing pots and working in the kitchens is stereotyping women and women's work and is therefore aspects of probably white supremacy and misogyny. What will the novices have to do in the show? Like
They will
obviously
have to
they'll have to chop firewood, I think probably.
They'll have to sharpen Nynaeve's spear and sword.
Yep.
Over
That's
and
a
over
good
again.
point. Something phallic. That's a good point. Something
Go practice.
vaguely phallic.
Go practice swordsmanship. That's what they'll have to do. Go practice with the warders.
They're gonna have to polish the
It's like,
oath rod.
what? Yeah. Oh my god! Don't they do that willingly already? Like I didn't think that was a punishment.
Why is this damp?
Oh, geez, it's making me cry now. This is wow. Wow.
We went there. It happened, guys.
Moraine, this is Moraine's oath rod. Don't go get your own. Oh, sorry.
So
Careful, you don't get oath transmitted diseases.
Yeah.
So what I took away from this chapter, it's been a few days since I read this, was Egwene basically meets a bunch of people that Ren met. Yay, it's a small world after all in this chapter. She meets Elaine. She meets Gawain. She meets Galad. Galad apparently really likes her. And, we get to, we meet Min's here too. And Min was taken here against her will. And it's interesting. Min has some visions for both Egwene and Elaine. I think the one that I remembered the most clear was for Elaine, the severed hand. She sees a severed hand, which is not hers. So I'm like, okay, what the fuck is going to happen? Because apparently Jaime Lannister is not in this story. So I'm curious whose hand gets cut off. Read and find out. Yeah, I figured. So I'm trying to think what else was there? What other visions did she have? Let's see. I think I got this. Elaine will share her husband with two other women. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, she had some interesting reactions to yeah. I'll just leave it there. Yep.
Okay. And then this one I forgot. I don't understand the context. Elaine is connected to the Rose Crown of Andor. I thought she is connected to the Crown of Andor. What's the Rose Crown?
That's just
I forget they explain in the chapter.
Just the name of the crown.
The name of the crown.
Yeah.
So
I thought
Kyrie
it
has
was-
the Sun Throne and the Lion Throne and the Rose Crown.
Well, she's the daughter heir, so she would be connected, unless I'm missing something. Like, what
Yeah.
is the impact of this revelation or this vision?
All it is
the reader knows that she's the daughter heir to Andor.
all it is
Mhm.
that Min has a vision confirming that Elaine will actually be queen of Andor.
Oh,
Yeah.
and this is okay. All right, that makes sense.
And
It wasn't
I thought
particularly,
I thought this was interesting too when when Elaine says, "Oh, there are two other girls that Rand's met before," and Egwene says, "I danced a few dances with a nice boy," and Rand goes around looking like a dog with a sore tooth. Like, shut up, bitch.
Yeah, it's because you're a whore.
Dude, that's the thing too. Rand didn't do anything. Like the girls came to him for the most part.
Right.
And he's just like, I don't know. It's like if I recall, he didn't even. At this point, he doesn't even know if he's interested in Min. Min is just like his buddy. Like they're buddies at this point. They're like, Min's my friend,
Right.
the only one I can actually depend on. Right? It's like, or
Right.
she's like, and Elaine is the daughter heir. She saw him in the garden, and that's it. It's just like,
Yeah.
and you're dancing
And-
around, get ready to give your freaking your lady flower to freaking Aram. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Bitch.
Well, and Elsa Grinwald was wanting to sit there and get all up in Rand in the spare room on the farm. So I mean, it's like,
whoa.
yeah.
This isn't the Rafe Judkins adaptation. She wasn't trying to get up in Rand. That's
she wanted Rand all up in.
Isn't she dead in Rafe Judkins' adaptation?
yes. Also,
Isn't her
like,
whole family
6.
dead? Yeah, yeah.
Which
So
her being 6 actually makes sense for Rafe, but
God damn,
her being dead is even a step too far.
Or is it?
No, no.
Well, and then it's funny because
We draw the line at normalizing necrophilia.
She gets
Yeah,
all pissed
sure.
off at Rand, and then she goes and becomes like friends with these two. It's just like, what do you got to say about Rand now? Like you've now became best buddies with the two girls that were like hanging out with Rand.
Mhm.
So what's the problem, bitch?
Yep. It's all a matter of convenience for her. You know,
No,
I'll
it's
say
like-
this.
that's
I'll
pretty
say this.
consistent.
I'll say this. When I was reading this, and I was thinking of the characters, I did not think of the vision of Rafe Judkins. I was thinking of how Mr. Jordan described them in the first place. So, yeah. So I didn't think of Min as that snarky Shinari.
Jaded chest tattoos.
whatever the hell that is. Yeah.
And well, apparently Elaine and the rest of them are not even in the show anyways. Who are they? Maybe they're just like, who are they? If they're not in the show, then they're not in the book. Then they can't be in the book. Seriously. I mean, everybody says the show is 70% of people say the show is better than the books. Come on. Okay,
Steve only has one more keyboard. You gotta cool it.
Yeah.
70%, folks.
I mean, I said the
70%.
worst thing to him. I said the worst thing to him last week. I said Cosmere sucks, just to get him to react. And you know what? He didn't break anything because he didn't believe me. And I actually, by the way, I downloaded the first book. I bought.
Oh, did you?
Book.
Okay.
It's my
There you
favorite.
go.
So
Nice.
maybe in
Probably
between Wheel of
good.
Time book, I might read.
Man,
start
you got a
reading it.
lot of freaking reading you're doing now, man. You're gonna like,
Tolkien
my
with
God.
us. You're
You got Lord of the Rings going. Oh my God, you're becoming a
I'm
reading
not
machine.
really. I mean, I'm not watching anything until next week with Picard.
Well, you know what? It's great. Just pop it in when you're doing Nerporio on the street when you're not streaming with me, and there you
That's
go.
what I do. Yeah.
There you go.
all right. So what? It's been like 55 minutes, and we've gone through like a chapter and a half. So like
3 chapters.
3 chapters. Yeah, we could have
So-
skipped that. No, I'm kidding. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so we get to see them, and we see the red Aja Elida, who is just the handsome. She's the handsome woman. She's the handsome woman who is bad news. Bad news for our heroes. So last thing we see her is she's trying to question men, like, how do you have this ability? Where do you get this ability from? So
Stuff it, Elida. Oh, sorry.
was also not on the show.
Oh man,
She was-
Elida, like I don't want to get into show stuff, but Elida is I guess you'll see. I don't want to go too far. Elida is a special person. We'll leave it at that.
She's
Special.
I hate that
So
bitch so
who-
much.
who-
Like, oh my
Yeah.
god.
well,
There's
and
no other
she's
way to
so
put
well
it.
written for that. Like
She
I
is.
compare her to the teacher in the 5th book of Harry Potter. that
Professor
everybody hates.
Umbridge. I
Yes.
hated her too.
Yeah,
So Elida is like the epitome of Aes Sedai arrogance. We'll just leave it. I think that's just the perfect way to describe her. She is the epitome of arrogance, and what all Aes Sedai think they know is her. She encompasses it all.
Because
And
I remember
you'll find it-
correctly,
you'll find-
Professor
yeah.
Umbridge was willing to serve whoever was in charge. Because I remember at the end of the series, you know, the Voldemort, the Death Eaters take over the ministry, and she's still working for them, and she knows she's working for them. So
yeah. My comparison was more just of how much you just hate her because she is such a foil for just the reader's hatred.
Yeah, her and Moraine, right? So what you're saying about a foil? She's supposed to foil Moraine. What Steve said about her embodying all of the negatives about the Aes Sedai. Moraine is the true Aes Sedai, right? So she is actually the selfless sort of servant. She sacrificed literally everything in her life to the service of what she considers the only mission that actually matters, which is, finding the Dragon Reborn and shepherding the Dragon Reborn to Tarmangaiden. And she's, sacrificed everything along the way. So she, she is very much a blue sister. So she's very much the scheming and the sort of machinations and the plans, so she has that part of being an Aes Sedai, but it's shown that is a neutral aspect of being an Aes Sedai. Elida and her both share the sort of schemes within schemes, right? But Elida has all of the self-importance and arrogance, like Steve said, and Moraine has all of the self-sacrifice and service.
Yeah, Moraine's doing it to save the world. Elida's doing it to serve her own purposes because, well, you'll see. I'm not going to go further than that because. Yep.
It'll be made very much apparent.
You will learn to hate Elida with the passion of every son in every universe because she is a raging biatch.
even the
You're going to be
pale sun-
signing
even the
up.
pale sun in the antimatter universe that
Yes,
that Rand
every
went
sun.
to.
Yes,
You're going to be signing up to join the White Cloaks.
just for her, just to get a chance at cutting her head off. Absolutely, absolutely.
Interesting. Because as far as I'm concerned, that world that they went to a few chapters ago, I swear that's the same world that the Starship Enterprise goes to in first season of the original Star Trek, where they go to an antimatter universe and they have to.
That'd
keep
be funny if it was. Why
Spoiler
not?
from everything
Robert
else.
Jordan liked Star Trek, didn't he?
I think so. I mean, there was in
why
that
not?
episode I'm talking about, there was a flicker effect.
Maybe. Who knows?
There was a
Maybe it was.
flicker effect,
It
and I was
would-
thinking
you know
about
what?
that when I was reading it.
It would not surprise me if he did that.
In the
It
show,
would
they
be-
call
it
it
would
in
be
the
pretty
show
cool.
they call it the winking out effect, but
Hmm.
same idea. So,
Moving on.
but
We're never gonna get done.
well,
Time for
we're
me to
in
drive
Kyrie-
this
we're in
car.
Kyrie.
Here we go.
We can kind of just like, well, I want to do instead of getting to Rand, chapter 25, we're going to skip and do Perrin chapter 28.
Okay.
So we're going to go back to
I thought you
Perrin.
didn't have a plan for this. Now all of a
Perrin-
sudden he's got a master plan. He's jumping around.
Perrin is
I'm
moping.
going from
Moving
one
on.
character
Oh,
to the other
sorry.
character, and so now we're Perrin. And I read this a few days ago. I really enjoyed this chapter too. So
Okay.
we're back with Ingtar, Perrin, Matt, and Varen, the Aes Sedai.
Oh, okay.
I'm
You're
liking
talking to me
Varen.
about
I'm liking Varen a
Yeah,
lot.
Perrin's-
She is
Perrin-
just. I think she's awesome.
who? Varen.
Varen.
Yeah, she's
Varen
great
is a stud. Varen is probably the best Aes Sedai in the book, possibly.
I think Nathan said so earlier too.
Yeah, Varen is possibly. There's so much you got to get
All
to.
of us had just said that Varen's a nice character. She's a very good character, and you should read and find out.
Yes, Varen
Thank
is
you.
awesome. Very good. There you go. Moving on.
But yeah, so I liked. So we're this is a parent chapter. We get there's wolves. They're talking about wolves. We learn about they call Rand the shadow. What they call him, the shadow killer.
Shadow killer.
Rand
Shadow
has
killer.
man. There's so many good titles in this book. Rand has
What's the Shadow
Rand and
Slayer?
Matt. Yeah,
Shadow killer. Shadow
the
Slayer?
Shadow Killer.
Because he was
Yeah.
killing the Trollocs and everything, so the wolves have nothing but respect for Rand now because
Yeah, they
he's
love
using-
Rand because
Yeah.
anything that kills Shadow Spawn wolves are a-okay with.
So they're going through that.
That's why they like Rand. Yeah.
Yeah, and so so like Matt's Matt is further deteriorating, and they have to get the dagger, and so they're getting closer and closer to Kyrian, and they encounter an Aielman, and I meet my first Aielman in this chapter,
Yep.
and it was a very interesting exchange.
Yep.
It was a very interesting exchange. I think the guy's name was Urian, and he's like come in. He's like, come and join the dance. Come on, guys, come on. I'm ready to dance. And then he
I will
sees
dance with your lightnings, Aes Sedai.
He says it so. Noporio says it so lovingly, like they're gonna actually dance and not like try and kill each other.
come play Maiden's Kiss. It'll be fine.
Let's dance around.
Now is the
That's-
time in Sprockets when we
Dude.
dance.
That's gonna be the show. They're gonna say let's dance, and they're all gonna start break dance fighting.
We can dance if you want to. We can leave our friends behind.
Break dance fighting like the.
I just like the level of tension. Like Perrin wanted to, I think Perrin wanted to do
Well,
something.
you gotta remember, Aiel are like legendary for taking on like tens of people at the same time and walking out, right? Like whether it's true or not, it's like people are scared of them, like because of their reputation. It literally precedes them. So
Yeah, I mean they live in nothing but harshness. They live and they breathe in harshness. The waste is just a harsh reality, and that's what
the threefold land. Come on.
Threefold.
You get to learn a little bit about some stuff. It'll come with time.
So
it's just a little hint.
Yeah, so Urian of the Two Spires, the Sept of the Rain Aiel, and is a red shield. Wonder what that means. I guess I got to read and find out.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I mean, a lot of it is kind of right there on its face, right? So clearly, like kind of tribe, clan kind of stuff.
So is the Sept supposed to be a clan?
Yeah.
What's the definition of a Sept here now?
So a sept is below a clan. So a clan is larger, and then the sept is smaller. And then there's holds. And then the red shield it's a warrior society. There's lots of them.
Okay.
And yeah.
Yep. And then they're like, Urian wants to fight, and they're like, okay, we're not going to fight. Then Varen just goes up to him, and he calls her Wise One. I'm like, Wise One, is that what they call Aes Sedai? And then we find out no. She's like, I'm not a Wise One. I'm Aes Sedai. And he's like, whoa, I want to get the fuck away from you then. I don't want anything to do with you. And she's like, why do you call me that? And he's like, well, you look like you've made the journey to Ruidian and survived. And I was like, what does that mean? What does that mean?
So there's some controversy that I've heard people think that this is a mistake or a retcon by Robert Jordan. I disagree, but we'll be able to talk about that. We'll be able to talk about it maybe in the future.
Oh, what's the retcon?
There are some people who, mainly people who are advocates of the show and like to poke holes and say, look at all the mistakes Robert Jordan made. And they say that an Aes Sedai being mistaken for a Wise One implies something about the way Wise Ones look and the way Aes Sedai look. And since we later find out they don't look the same, mistake. But I would argue that it's actually not that. We'll be able to talk about that when we get to it. But it's suffice to say that confusing an Aes Sedai for a Wise One should tell you something about the Wise Ones, right?
I'll shut up. I think I know what you're getting at. But I'll shut up till we get to a point where we can
So,
talk about it more, because I don't think it's a
yeah,
mistake either. But
Yeah, I'm just curious. So what did you take away from that? So they see her and they think wise one. What does that tell? Like, what do you think that means about wise ones?
About what the whole going to Ruidian and surviving.
so no. So what I think
Okay.
what he's asking is Aiel
No, it's fine.
sees a. Well, I guess same deal.
I don't know what you're
I'll
asking.
shut up. Articulate.
I feel like the first time that I read this, like I had a specific thought, like I sort of made a prediction based on this. I was curious if you had a thing that you sort of thought of, but it's fine if you didn't. I mean, it's just
What about wise ones? What were you talking about?
yeah.
Well, I'm figuring wise ones are different based on what we learned, that Aes Sedai and wise ones are different. Maybe they're a branch of the Aes Sedai or something. They're channelers too. They're another branch of channelers that we've just learned about. Just like the what we're going to be talking about next in the next chat with the next chapter. With a certain invasion force that I won't get into, another group of channelers. So that's
a movie, Invasion Force.
Okay, whatever. So what I thought was interesting that I think was greatly setting up is, the threefold land. Once Trollocs invade, we're going to be taking our rightful place back in the. We're going to leave the threefold land, take our places back in our places of old, which I'm assuming is Rand land, outside of the waste. And the other big thing that I remember him asking is, I'm looking for somebody. That's why I'm out here. That's why I showed myself. I'm looking for somebody, and he shows he draws on the ground the mark that this man will have, and so basically the mark of the old ancient Aes Sedai. And of course, right away, and even Perrin and I think Matt figured it out. It's Rand. It's basically he's looking for Rand. So they're looking for the Dragon Reborn. And I thought that was a very interesting thing. They're like, Perrin's like, we can't help you in that regard. And so then he just fucks off. And they're like, okay, we gotta get the fuck. We have to get the fuck. We have to press our journey. We have to get to Rand. So, and that was basically that chapter. It was a great chapter. It was another great chapter. I thought really served the story. And I know something that it will be either bastardized or completely cut from the show, probably completely cut, because this whole book is probably going to be completely cut from the show based on what was set up in season 1. So.
Yeah.
What would make you think that things from the book would be bastardized by the show?
Just
a strange random thought to have.
Just instinct and I don't know, just instinct and the idea of being raped is a very unpleasant thought. It's just something that needs to be avoided at all costs. So
true.
Yeah. So
yep. Okay.
Yeah, that's why it has nothing to do with me watching the show and hating it and thinking it's the single worst adaptation. Probably one of the 2 shows I hate the most in my life, than Star Trek Picard season 1. But that's beside the point. But yeah, I thought this was a great chapter and loved it. So yeah, so this was great. I like the great introduction to Aiel. I can't wait to see more of them and see how they deal with them. So, and then we get to another nice little chapter.
I'll give you a little hint about the Aiel, because we're whiskey streaming bros. The Aiel is where Robert Jordan inserted whiskey into the Wheel of Time.
No shit.
The Aiel are some whiskey drinking bros.
No fucking shit. Oh my god. Can't wait.
Right there. That's all you need to know about them. Just badasses drinking whiskey, having a good time.
All right. Well, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. All right. So let's talk about the Seanchan. Let's talk about them. So we got a new invasion. So we get this new invasion force. there's 2 points of view of this chapter, and we'll start with Jeffrey Bornhall, White Cloak. And I think that we just find out that the villages have been
Love that guy.
massacred, if I remember correctly, and they're trying to find out who is doing this and why. I believe they're on Elmeth Plain, and they're supposed to be like, I think he's not allowed to ask like a lot of questions, that he's under the questioner's commands, if I remember correctly. So
yeah, I think.
Yeah, he was instructed to follow the commands of Yakim Carradine, one of the Lord Captains of the Hand of the Light.
Is that how you say it? Yakim Carradine instead of
I have no idea. There you go. I haven't thought of how to pronounce that guy's name, and I haven't read it in a long time to think of like how it's actually spelled. Jakim, yeah. Jakim, that's probably.
I always said Jakim Carradine.
Jakim is probably correct.
Jakim Carradine, one of the
don't ask me for pronunciation.
Long lost Carradine brother. You got David, and I got.
But yeah, Jeffrem is. Jeffrem's a good dude. I shouldn't say good dude, good character, but his hands are quite a bit tied at this point because he is a loyal soldier and follows orders.
Yeah, and we learned that these invaders are the Shan-Chan, that they are those who come home, or the Hylian, those who come before, the Karen, or the Return. And one thing that's interesting is that they occupy like these villages, and they force people to take oaths and they don't explain these oaths that they're taking. Like I forget exactly what the oaths are. Like the oath is what is the oath? I forget. But they swear to
the Empress.
I don't remember.
To wait, obey, and serve. I think so. That
sounds right.
That sounds about right. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Well, they take their oath and then they fuck off and let them about their business.
Yeah. So
it's like, okay.
Yeah, and they're just like, he's like basically like they're in this village and they're trying to root out like dark friends or something, and he's like, there's no dark friends here. If there's any, they're going to be in Falm, which is where the Shan-Chan are, where the Shan-Chan have their little headquarters right there.
Or amassing, yes.
Yeah, and they have a big ass fleet. Like they have like hundreds. They have like, don't they have like 1,000 ships or something? Like the Ironborn and in the Game of Thrones, something like that.
It's an army, yeah.
Yeah. And they're like, okay, we're fucking off. We're going to...
They shot a giant wave at a child. Oh, sorry.
Huh?
They shot a giant wave at a child in the show. Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Do you remember the tail end of the show? The last scene of episode 8?
Yeah, with the ship. I'm assuming that was them.
Yeah.
The Shan-Chan.
Yeah, with the giant wave that killed that poor little girl. Yeah, that was them.
I see.
Yay.
Yay. And then I loved the second point of view in this chapter was Bail Doman. And he is being pursued. He is being pursued and pursued and pursued. And it gets to a point where all of a sudden there's this big explosion in the water next to him. And so apparently they have these channelers that can shoot like fire explosions from the water. And he's like, oh, I am fucked if I keep this going. So he surrenders. And then they come in, they board the vessel, the spray. And I forget the name of the woman, but oh my God, a woman's in command of the troops here. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
She wears a locust helmet, a helm, and I forget, what was her name again? Eganin?
Eganin.
Sounds like a Zelda villain.
I always said Eganin, but we've already discussed how my pronunciation of these terms should not be trusted.
Eganin.
How did you pronounce it, Pips?
Eganin.
Eganin. Oh, that sounds very Zelda.
Eganin.
Like I
Its
said,
face.
don't trust my pronunciation. It's somewhat influenced, depending on how recently I've read or listened to Kramer
Mike
and
Kramer.
reading. And they mispronounce words all the time.
Yeah, because they say Kyrian, it's supposed to be Kyrian, according to the glossary. That's
I would
that's
say
true.
I would say
I'm gonna say
Carhian.
Kyrian.
So
Carhian, yeah. But apparently they have these channelers that wear like these collars, so they're like being like they have the channelers, and you have the people that like leash them. I don't know if they're fellow channelers too. I believe they're, what are they called? The Damani, Damani.
Yep, Damani.
The leashed ones. And so they have these channelers, and that's why, like, you know, that's why things get kind of fucked. So you have, so they're like they're blowing shit up on the shore, and the fact that Doman saw like the aftermath of one of those attacks, he's like, yeah, he's like, because he thought, I mean, it's all, you know, like there's a lot of you know, one thing I liked about this chapter, and they do this in Song of Ice and Fire too, is like there's a lot of claims about these people, like they ride monsters, or they have monsters at their command, and everything, like they're just a bunch of inhumans and everything. What's funny is the fact that they have monsters at their command is true though, and it's the same fucking creatures from the Pale Sun world.
Well,
So
there's
I'm like,
more
okay.
too. Yeah,
I'm
keep
like,
reading
okay,
because
is Sean Chan supposed to be on that world then? And that's why they have those three-eyed, what are they called? Garls?
Grom. They're Grom, aren't they? Grom.
Yeah,
Grom.
Yeah, Grom.
I
is there like a big portal that the ships? Is there a portal that the ships go through? Or
like you don't know? Oh God, I'm trying to remember how much you know about the Sean Chan.
Not
right
much.
Yeah,
not
so
much.
I'm not.
All I
I'm
know
gonna
is
shut up.
they're
I don't know that
invaders.
there's too. I don't know that
They're
there's too much of a connection.
They're
to be honest.
invaders, and their High Lord is his name is Turak or Turok. I don't know how to pronounce it.
I would say.
And the first thing I thought of when I read the name Turok was the dinosaur hunter from N64. Remember that game?
Yep.
Yeah.
Turok is how I pronounce it, because the exact same thing.
The exact same reason. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I actually never played that game.
No, there's even more creatures, and I don't know that you should worry about a connection too much with the Portal Stone stuff. I mean, there might be one, but yeah, it's loose if
it
Portal
gets
Stone
explained.
stuff,
It's not relevant. Like
Yeah.
it gets explained that they are from the same world, the Grom. Just imagine that, like, anybody who could go through a portal stone could bring things back through a portal stone. So at some point in the past, these monsters were brought from elsewhere. It's just it's not relevant to any plot point. But
I don't know. It's just an interesting connection. It was an interesting connection right there. So I figured I'd put a little, I'd think about that. But
no, I think it's meant to be interesting because it's like I just saw one of those in the freaking Portal Stone, right? So
yeah. So Doman's ship gets captured, and
this scene will be in the show.
They leave behind the Sean Chan leave behind like I'm not going to say a hostage, but like someone there to make sure that they follow directions and go to Falm, and they're like within a mile of each other. Ships are within a mile of each other.
Yep.
And he's just like, I'm not going to even. He is resigned to what's going on. He's resigned. He's like, I cannot escape these guys. This is something I'm going to have to really lie my way out of. So he's like, he will. So the one thing that was put together was that he made sure that hostage, or well, not even hostage, but the one man that was left with Bale was never molested by any of his crew. If he did that, he'd throw them overboard. So, but I think the one thing that I did remember from her, Eganin and Bale, was asking if they were Aes Sedai, and I think she backhands him she backhands him. She's like, "You don't speak that," and he's like, I'm sorry, I don't know nothing of your ways. This was not intentional. It was just simply ignorance on my part.
And I think it's sort of interesting in the last few chapters, you're getting to see a worldly view of how the world sees Aes Sedai. Two different cultures have reacted two completely different ways to the mention of Aes Sedai.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
Everybody hates it. Well, most people people on the west part, especially in Emmons Field, distrust Aes Sedai. Sean Chan
There's a
apparently
lot
hate
of-
Aes Sedai, and you have Shinar who embrace
Revere.
Aes Sedai, revere.
Very few places like Aes Sedai that much. There's a few places where they show them respect, but there's not very many places that really like them, and there's a lot of places that fairly actively dislike them.
Yeah.
So that tells you a little bit about how things have gone for the world since the breaking.
Yeah, I always sort of put the Borderlanders' reverence in correlation to how close they are to the Blight and how often they actually can help them with their actual weaving.
Yeah, just don't think about Malkier too hard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but because they don't Aes Sedai don't use they don't attack anything but Shadow Spawn, so it's like, all right, well, this is the only place where we can attack shit. So it's like that's where I always went with that. But yeah, most
And
people
yet
hate Aes Sedai.
And yet somehow most of the Greens are constantly just fucking off and
Yeah, just fucking off at Tarvalon and getting new orders and getting married and the flirty Aja, yeah.
So just to wrap this up, so Bael meets the High Lord Turok, and Turok is able to identify the disc, the Quendalar disc that they has. I don't know if he knew exactly that it's the seal of the Dark One itself. Maybe he did, but he knows it's from the Age of Legends. He recognized it's the old Aes Sedai symbol. It's from the Age of Legends, and and it's like they said, it's enough to buy a kingdom. that disc. So, and Doman's trying to say, hey, you can have it. It's a gift. And there's like, it's not a gift. I took it. It's mine. I'm going to keep you around. I'm just going to keep you around. He's like trying to get out of everything. He's trying to say, just let me go and we'll keep trading. He's like, no, I'm going to keep you around. I'm going to keep you around. Ugh, poor bastard. I'm curious I'm curious what's next. What's in store for him next. So I guess I got to read and find out. So, but yeah, so the Sean Chan, new threat. I'm curious if things are coming together. It's interesting.
What was your impression on that scene in the book where that big giant wave came up and hit the cliffs of Dover? Wasn't that freaking awesome? Sorry.
All right, moving on.
You're muted, Steve.
All right. You got something to say, Steve? No?
No, sorry, I was stretching and I was muted because Easton was in the room. Sorry.
All right, so let's get back to the meat and potatoes. We only have 37 minutes to do all this. So hey, Dice Damar, everybody. Dice Damar, whatever.
Dias Daymar, yeah.
Kyrian. We're in Kyrian.
Yep.
We get into the city. It's a big city. Foregate. There's a Foregate. Most of the commoner, I think a lot of the commoners, most of the soldiers hang out by the Foregate. Everybody in the town is just completely miserable because of Dice Damar. I think everybody's high lords want to use everybody for their own evil intents and purposes.
Interesting. Yep. I don't think I ever got the impression that the Kyrianans disliked or thought their way of doing things was not the proper way, and the rest of the world is all sorts of weirdos. So saying that they're miserable because of the game, the game.
Think they're perfectly happy playing the game.
Exactly.
I mean, the at least the ones that are actively playing it, the ones that are suffering are just suffering. But
Yeah, because there was like the demeanor was totally different when they go into the city from a lot of people.
Well, it's because the people outside are refugees from like all over the the world, mostly Kyrian, but there's foreigners as well, right? So that's why you get all the colorful clothing and stuff like that is from foreigners, from refugees that like they just have whatever scraps they could sort of find, and like kind of poor sort of refugees and things like that historically, like, hey, you live life to its fullest because you never know what your last day might be, right?
That's true.
But even the people in the Foregate play the game, and I think it's one of those things like they've never questioned the nature of their reality.
Yeah,
it's just how it is.
Yeah.
So, Rand is asking about Celine. Looking for. He's like, where is she? They don't know how she's from, so they can't really tell him. And well, they get to an inn. They get to, I think that the inn is called the Defender of the Dragon Wall. The innkeeper thinks he's an Aiel. He's like, I'm not an Aiel, but she's like, sorry. And well, he's just like, hey, Loyal, let's go out for I don't know if he takes. Yeah, I think he does take Loyal with him. They go to one of the gates, and they go to the Foregate, I believe, and they go to one of the I forget the name of the place that they go to, but they see a performance by Gleeman, and this was a very, very heartfelt moment. Like here, I felt really happy. Like I loved how Jordan wrote this. Like I was really happy for the character, how he reacted to seeing Tom Maryland alive. I thought it was a beautiful scene right there,
and not murdered by a Fade in a locked cabin.
Not murdered by a Fade in a locked cabin.
And so the thing was, he did not leave that scuffle from Whitebridge unscathed. Like he has a limp now, so I'm assuming he get stabbed in the leg by the Fade, and the Fade just simply wasn't interested in him. Tried to go after Rand, and
I think in this chapter he explains that he basically just got shoved out of the way because the Fade didn't care about him.
Yeah,
he has like a limp, so I don't know what caused the limp. I don't know if he.
I don't think it's important. Just his scuffle with the Fade left him with the limp. I mean, I don't think it could have been the blade because he would have died.
I'm being a nerd. I'm theorizing why he has the limp.
Well, it can't be the blade because then he'd be dead. Okay. Because it's the Thakandar blade, and Thakandar blade will kill you. So, but
that's why you guys are here. You guys are here to school me on lore and on Wheel of Time because I forgetting shit.
So I'm just assuming he sort of like clashed with him once, and the Fade said, "Get the fuck out of my way," and threw him, and he hurt his leg.
You get the fuck out of my way. So something a Fade, how a Fade would say. You gotta get it right, Steve. You gotta get it right.
You mean opening your worm mouth and screeching?
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah, he's like, and Tom. The first thing Tom says is, "Where the fuck's my? Give me my heart. You didn't touch my heart.
Where's my shit, boy?
Give me my shit.
You didn't touch it, right?
Give me my shit." So that's basically that was that chapter. So. Yeah, so he was alone. Then he comes back. He brings Loyal this time. They go to I think the place was called the Bunch of Grapes, and he goes to the inn, and we find out that he's got a friend. He's got a really close friend, who they share a room and they do shit together. And we learn her name is Dana, or is it Dina or Dana? Dina, whatever, doesn't matter.
Dina.
And so we get to meet her. We find out that she's like an apprentice of Tom's, and she's more than an apprentice, but she's really good at what she does. And and he's excited to have her perform and to do stuff. And let's just say a certain thing happens a few chapters later that I did get to, which is pretty crazy. But yeah, like, so apparently Tom was on their trail, like he was behind them, like he went to Camelin, and he learned from Basil Gill at the inn that they were staying in Camelin, that they already left, and they just kind of disappeared, and there was an Ogier, so he had an idea what was going on there, and trying to remember what else. Like, I think Rand tells Tom like what happened in between, when they got separated, and what happened after that, how they got the Horn of Valyr and everything, and asks him about the Carathon cycle, which I believe is just like a bunch of passages about the Dragon Reborn, if I remember correctly.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
The Carathon cycle.
Yeah, that's the prophecies of the dragon. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Koreathon cycle. Yeah.
It's Korea. Okay, Koreathon. Okay, there you go. Trying to remember what else. Remember what else happens here. Oh yeah, Tom is like, I'm not gonna get involved with you anymore. Like, I'm done with this. I'm done with this societal life. I don't want to be chased by. I don't want to live in danger anymore. So I think I'm out. He's like, I'm out, boy. I'm out. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. He gave the I'm too old for this shit, and
Oh, what? Tom? Is that?
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
And then later it's going to be just when I thought I was out.
They call me back in. We'll get to that.
Do you get to? I should have looked up at least where you finished, like what happens. I can't remember.
34.
What happened.
That was the chapter where something happens to a certain Dana.
Oh, and then something happens to a certain somebody else.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, did you? Yeah. What happens because of Dana's death? You know what happens, right?
I thought Dana's death was after some of the resolution of the Deus Daemar stuff.
Yeah, that was chapter 34. So we're on 27. So right after like they leave Tom. So apparently the Dark Friends under Fane were managed to get the Trollocs into the city by having them look like marionettes or puppets. So like they're being controlled by, like, they're being held by like 5 people, because Trollocs are like 7 feet, 8 feet tall, and they're big, and who knows how much they weigh. So, and then they pretend they're puppets like that, and then they just attack.
You're like the size
we got to see a nice little attack. Rand does his sword forms, but then there's a point where a Trolloc gets him into a hold, gets him into a hold, and because Trollocs are way bigger, he can't fight him. So then Loyal comes in, and Loyal wrestles the Trolloc, and then Rand's trying to help him, but he can't help him. There's no opening for him to help him. So it gets to a point where we're worried about Loyal because the Trolloc's going for his weapon, and then Loyal just throws him, bashes him against the wall, and the Trolloc breaks his neck. And so they're in trouble because they're being.
That scene.
Huh?
Loyal is Loyal is just
like,
freaking gangster.
I killed. Killed. It was Rand. It was like Rand in the beginning of in Winter Night.
Well, but it's just like he killed. He killed. It's like it's a Trolloc, but he's still just like, I killed something, and it's just
so it's actually closer than you think, right? So Loyal is actually basically the same age as Rand when you sort of adjust for
in Ogier years.
Ogier years, right? Yeah. And it's a very similar scene where sort of grappling, like not necessarily like really meaning to do it, and a very similar kind of like a tumble down, rolling around, and that kind of stuff. Yeah, I think that was intentional.
Jaleo
Yeah.
is so good, man. Like he never changes either. Like I love Jaleo. He's just a bro. He's just a bro,
Yeah,
man. Like I don't know. It's Jaleo's so good. Sorry.
I
Yeah.
totally agree. So now because of that, there's more Dark Friends and Trollocs, kind of, puppeting around. They're like, oh shit, we have to flee. And so it gets to a point where they flee to part of the city, and they get to this like manor that is like the headquarters of this secret. I don't know if you call it a secret society. They made it sound like it was a secret society with its, secrets and.
Yeah, it is.
Yep.
That's right.
They call them the Illuminators.
The Illuminators, yes.
Did you have you heard about the Illuminators before?
I might have. I forgot.
Barely, right?
Yeah.
So there's a couple places. One, the fireworks on Winter Night, right? So you hear about them a little bit there in the Eye of the World with fireworks and the Illuminators, and then also a certain Baal Doman. His ship is full of Illuminators fireworks.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
When the Shan Chan capture him.
Yeah.
The Illuminati fireworks.
The Great Eye.
Great.
Dude, it's both. They're fireworks makers and they're Illuminati secret society. I mean, you can't go wrong, right?
Yeah.
They'll
So
illuminate your mind.
Yeah, and so while they're hiding from these Trollocs, they encounter Selene again, and Selene's like, "What's going on?" And she's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "What are you doing here? We gotta leave. We gotta go." And
oh wait,
course,
sorry, I'm thinking about the show scene.
And
it's gonna be flipped. He's gonna be simping for her, obviously.
Yeah.
Like
Use this oath
on
thing
now.
on me, Celine, please. I beg
Yeah,
you.
Rand's gonna look at her and go, "Say, do me, Lizzo."
Oh no. All right, sorry. We're back on track.
So what basically happens is they can't escape, but yet they have to be completely silent or they'll be killed by, because Illuminators kill intruders. So they come into this area. I think it's outside where there's nothing but like fireworks like all around. And Loyal knocks something over, and it just starts a chain reaction that just completely everything goes off.
Yep.
And shit goes down. And they're like, we got to get out of here. And so, they're like, take Selene, get her out of here. And then Loyal's like, I lost Selene. And they're like, oh, she disappeared again. Nice. So we got to, once again, you kind of wonder what is up with her, but they get the fuck out. They get the fuck out, and they end up going back to the inn. They managed to get out. I think they killed their pursuers, the Trollocs with the fireworks, and they were able to get away and everything. And there was one thing I forgot to mention that was set up, I believe, in chapter 25. The letters. So ever since Rand entered the city, he's been getting letters from all the different houses. To
Gadfly Fiction brought up a thing in the chat. It was a while ago, so you probably won't find it to pull up. But just saying, it's interesting to see the through line of Moiraine's meddling in the very beginning of the book, because him and all of his fancy clothes. That's why it's all happening. It's all coming together.
Yep.
Yeah, and he's just thinking with scorn, Moiraine. Even far away, she's controlling things. She's manipulating things and blah, blah, blah. So
he's so angsty.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I will say Rand grows out of that. It takes a little longer than you wish it did, but he does grow out of it.
So with this particular chapter, I think he goes back and so he gets two letters. One's from Lord Barthanes, Damodred. I'm curious if he's related to a certain Moiraine.
No, probably not.
Probably not. Okay, of course not.
No,
I'm just
You
kidding.
say
All right.
so.
No, he's being
It's like
He's being
Smith
a-
in their phone book.
he's being a dick because yes, loosely, but it's not like I'm just gonna say it, it's not important in the book. They're going
Yeah.
to make it important in the show. So
100%. These are
it-
two true statements.
they're completely polar opposites. It's literally it's like mentioned that they're cousins, like mentioned offhand that
Yes.
they're cousins. And that's it. In the show, it's going to be important. But sorry, continuing. So not important, not really important in the book. But
Okay.
she is related. They are
All right.
related.
So he's Lord Barthanes is the most powerful lord, and then you have the king Galdrian. So those are the two letters he got that he didn't burn. So he burned the rest of them, and they're like, dude, you can't do that. Don't burn like Huron's like, don't burn the letters.
Huron's
dude.
like shit in his pants. He's like, don't. What the?
I'm not
he's like,
playing
he's like,
your
I'm not
game.
playing. He's
I
like,
am
by
not
burning
playing
them
the
all,
game
you're
of-
playing.
I'm not playing
you
the game
dumb
of
fuck.
houses.
He's like burning them is
everything.
playing the game, stupid. He's like, well, how do I not play? He's like, you don't. You're here. You have to play.
You know what's funny is I wonder. I think they stole.
Huron is great. Yeah.
I swear they stole the great game because there's a when I was reading this, hearing great game and all that. I swear Game of Thrones stole that when they had season 6 where Tyrion meets Daenerys and he says, you're part of the great game now, and the game is terrifying. And I thought and then reading this and thinking, oh my god, they stole from Wheel of Time, in my opinion.
I think everybody borrows from everybody a little bit, as long as it's
Yeah.
not overt. I mean, that's just
That was
I mean,
not in the Song of Ice and Fire.
It's not as bad as Good Kind stealing from Robert Jordan. It's not.
Well,
that
yeah.
bad, but
yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking. But yeah,
So
Richard Rawl. No, sorry.
yeah, so what happens is he goes back to that house, that house, and he's like, hey, did Ingtar enter the city? Did you see Selene? And the guy's like, no.
Ingtar.
This is
Yeah,
where,
I'll
by the
do-
way, you asked us if we see a certain person again in the last stream. You asked us if we saw the captain of that Kyrian captain, and we see him here.
Yeah, and he's like, who? He's like, he's right there. He's like, who? I don't know what you mean. So the guy's gaslight Rand, and he knows it. Fuck that guy. But while all this is going on, back at the hotel or the inn, apparently they set fire to it, and they took back Fane and the people and the Trollocs took back the
You got everything.
the horn and the knight and the dagger. And so they go in. They have to go save Huron. They get out, and because all that's going on, they reunite with Perrin, Ingtar, Matt,
Well,
and everybody else.
The timing hurts you so bad because he's done a decent job of protecting it. He's putting a guard on it. He's wary of what's going on for the most part, and then immediately when the person, and of course concerned about the dagger, not giving really a fuck about the horn. Like that's also, I think, one of the bigger things for me is Rand is always more. His talk is always about the dagger. The dagger. Matt needs the dagger. Matt needs the dagger. Matt needs the dagger. The horn is sort of in the case too. The dagger is the important part. So it's sort of crushing when the thing that they've all been searching for that would have healed our Chad of a man Matrim is all of a sudden gone again in the blink of an eye after all that safekeeping. And after that freaking stealth move in the forest to get it back,
the shadow killing.
Yeah, it's all crushing when that happens. But yeah. So.
Well, especially now that whole sickness is starting to really creep back in noticeably with Matt.
Yeah.
It's now like, oh, this urgency is just gonna fucking drive you nuts.
Oh, it drives. Yeah, go. Sorry.
So just to kind of speed this up, so Huron recovers because Varen is there, luckily, and he manages to track it to one of he manages to track it to Lord Barthanus's manor.
Right.
So they're like, so Varen's like, okay, literally throws the king's invitation in the fire. He's like, we're going here. And so they go, they dress, and they go, they prep, and they go to Lord Barthanus's. They have to behave. So Matt and so parents left behind. Matt and Huron are the servants, and of course Rand goes there with honorary guest Inktar because he's a nobleman. Loyal because he's Ogier. They're sought, and of course Aes Sedai and Varen. So they go in. And Rand gets completely, let's just say, there's just like, you're at a ball, it's very, hoity-toity. And the women go up to Rand. They're trying to like, oh, look at this guy. And he's like, get away from me. And I think there's a moment where he even talks to Lord Barthanus himself. And it was a very interesting conversation until he gets called away by Huron. They're like, Huron, your servant hurt himself. It's like, well, how dare you? Well, he doesn't smack him, but he's like, you fool. He's playing the part of being an asshole, lord, asshole master, and everything. And so we find out that that there's a ways. That we find out that where Huron sniffed it to was actually a ways, and they took the ways to get out of there. So they. In that sense, they lost him. So they try to go in, and Ma Xinxin is right there.
Fucking right there, bro. It's like, did you expect it?
And trying to get out.
Did you expect when they opened that Ma Xinxin would not only be waiting, but trying to get out to eat them?
Yeah, I did not see that. Right. I did not see that.
I can't wait until like the door is open and it just starts whispering things about like, no one likes you. You're too tall. No one likes you. You don't have any friends.
Get cream, not sugar, you fatso. You're overweight. It's like, oh my god.
Just
like, you lie. I'm not overweight. Ma Xinxin always lies. Oh, sorry.
Except when you're the dragon.
We'll get to see Loyal be told, you're too young to be out. They'll take
your
you back.
Your hair is
and
perfect the way
off.
it is. Your hair is perfect. Don't change a thing.
No, that would be a lie. Ma Xinxin can't tell him that.
That's right. I'm sorry.
Your hair looks ridiculous.
It's actually singing the VeggieTales theme song to Loyal.
Yeah, right. But it's like so just like that just tells you some more about Fane too, because like Fane went through there, and now all of a sudden Ma Xinxin is guarding the door.
Yeah. Was that tell you? Yeah.
I mean, guarding the fucking door, like holy shit!
You'll see a little more of that too. That's Ma Xinxin is not done. You'll you get some stuff to look forward to.
Yeah, I love how Ma Xinxin sounds in this. This is the most terrifying Ma Xinxin sounds I think in the whole story.
It's so sweet to drink the blood.
Right. Well, and then how Robert Jordan adds in the end that, and through all the rest of it, you hear Althor.
I'm wondering where Ma Xinxin learned that name.
Just imagine how good of a scene this could have been. Like, you're reading this as the reader, and like this is such an amazing scene of like,
there's so much of that. You could do that. Like, we could do that.
Yeah,
all
I
day
know.
long
I know. But
this is fucking a month. We could be like, well, Rand's
Now the question is,
I
absolutely
really
right.
like the elements of horror in Robert Jordan's writings, especially some of the earlier books. Like the elements of horror and the tone of some the dark tone of some of his stories, especially The Eye of the World and a few of the earlier books, really have that. And the show made zero effort to adapt it. And so when I see a scene like this, it just makes it so much more frustrating that like, it's the problem of the Hobbit movie where they tried to have the Hobbit have the tone of Lord of the Rings. And when you put the wrong tone to the story, it just is a huge miss. The Hobbit is supposed to be a fun little adventure. And then they put it with all the weighty stuff of the Lord of the Rings because it was, oh, we got to make it like the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings movies. That's what people liked. And it's just as bad when they do it the other way around, where they remove the darker tones from Robert Jordan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, you're right. I agree. I mean, I hope you know by now, but yeah.
So my question is, because Rand used started the channel, and I think he had this thing in his grass. He had this thing in his grass. Do you think he would have completely destroyed it had Loial not closed the door?
What, destroyed Machin Shin?
Machin Shin?
Yeah.
No.
Nope.
I don't think he can,
because it was shrieking, it was howling in pain.
I don't think it's possible. It's not something. I don't know. It's an interesting question, but didn't he shoot balefire at it?
Oh, man, I'm trying to remember.
Did he shoot balefire at Machin Shin? I don't remember. Because if he shot balefire at Machin Shin and it didn't kill him, he's unkillable. Or him. I love how I called Machin Shin him.
It didn't explain what he shot at him. All we know is that
was it a light white fire hot lightning or something like that?
Just a coruscating fountain of light.
Yeah. It's possible that because it's something that Robert Jordan does a fair amount, right? And again, people will say like, "Oh, this is retconning or whatever." He just gave himself room to maneuver as he refined the magic system, and he did it in a way that made sense narratively. Where like Rand doesn't know what the hell he's doing, and so you as the reader don't really know what the hell he's doing. And later, as Rand learns things, and you as the reader learn things, you can start to make sense of the things that Rand was doing, and a lot of times it lines up pretty well. So like this could have been balefire. It could have been a couple other things that some of us could probably think of. But I don't think Machin Shin is a singular thing anyway. So like that's why I don't think you can kill Machin Shin because
it's like an idea.
Well, you hear all of the different voices, the chorus of voices, right? Like Machin Shin is not one thing. Yeah. So even if you balefired Machin Shin, like maybe you could cut off a piece of it, I guess.
It'll probably grow back, right? I mean, it's the way they're one, right? So just grow back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe I don't know.
Like Hydra.
Yeah. I mean, I would assume he's just shooting light at darkness to repel something that lives in the dark perpetually, and you've gone from pitch black to light. It hurts your eyes. I guess that's my interpretation of that. But I don't think Machin Shin's killable. I don't think. I mean, I'd love to hear somebody give me an idea how they could, but
yeah, the only reason why I entertained the idea was because Rand, with Rand and being the Dragon Reborn, spoiler alert, and using Saidin as opposed to Saidar. So I don't know. That was just.
So there's an argument to be made that the way that Machin Shin is actually a product of Saidin. So I don't know.
Nobody really knows. Nobody really knows what Machin Shin is. It's just it's there. Yeah. And
anyway, I think this is we're probably far afield of things that we actually kind of know about this, and is just we're just sort of spitballing with you. It's an interesting thought. I don't think I'd necessarily thought of that before. I'm trying to think of the way that narrative actually kind of happens, and whether or not Rand is thinking something that makes you think that, I'm going to kill it. In which case, I'd probably dismiss that as, again, like Rand, being hopped up on Mountain Dew with Saidin kind of pumped straight in there, right? And
if I remember, it was just pure panic. Close the door, close the door, close the door, close the door, right? And
hold the door.
Hold the door.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
Martin stole that.
Yeah. So
Loial, the original Hodor. You heard it here first.
So that happened, and then I'm trying to. So are you close to where you finished?
Yeah. This is literally this is chapter 33. So I mean, the only thing that I didn't bring up was that Tom was also there in Lord Barthanes' manor, and Rand pulls him aside and talks to him, and Rand doesn't realize, he's being watched by people, and they're like, okay, what does he have to do with this?
Yeah.
And I don't know if that directly leads to
it does.
So it does. Leads
Well, I mean, I
to
think they
her being murdered. He literally finds her murdered in their room with her throat slashed from ear to ear, and and there were two guys hiding in the room that attacked him, and Tom, being the badass that he is, kills the first dude, throws a knife at him, hits him in the neck. The other dude he hits in the shoulder and just completely owns him, and starts questioning him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What are you going to disagree with that? I figured that conversation basically inadvertently led to that whole thing, because it's like, oh, you're a friend of this lordling that won't give us any information. You must know something.
Right.
So
well, because we learned that he's actually from they're actually sent by the king. I think the initial visit that Rand had to him in the hotel room was what keyed off the king to figure this out. And the fact that that Tom was invited to Barthanes' party accelerated that same kind of thought process.
Yeah, fair enough.
So it's a combination of those things.
And that very much matches what we learned earlier with Rand talking with Huron about the Great Game, right? About how dangerous it is, about how the other parties are going to watch and see who you talk to and what things you accept. And they're going to try and see whose plan you're forwarding. I think I think you're spot on, man.
I'm curious what me talking to you three right now is going to lead what everyone else is going to think.
Cancellation.
Definitely cancellation.
Bigotry.
If we're lucky, cancellation of the show. We're not that lucky though.
Okay.
No, that does. But is that what you ended with her murder?
No, there's the Fane stuff. So Fane's already in Falm, and he meets High Lord Turok, and he gives High Lord Turok the Horn of Valyr, and he gives him the chest. And to Padden Fane's dismay, Turok knew how to open it, so he was able to open it, take out the horn, and Fane's Fane's very eager, and this
my precious.
Fane is very eager. He wants the freaking knife, dagger. He wants the dagger, and they're like, no. And this one dude's like kind of knocking him down. And the sentence that made me chuckle is, Fane knows how this one's going to die.
Yep.
I read that sentence and I chuckled. And then he's thinking later on, you are going to die slowly. You are going to die.
Fane
slowly.
is fucking demented, and I love it. It is so good. I know exactly how you're gonna die, you bitch. Yeah. Yeah.
And the thing is, he's so eager. And the thing was, he was so eager to go along with Turok that Turok's like, there's something off about you. Because he wanted, he's like, I want to send you to the Empress. We're going to send you to the Empress. And he's like, yes, that's what I want. I want to corrupt, because it's more.
Oh, he would love to be standing right next to the Empress. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Standing next to the Empress with the whole Shan Empire? He would love to be right there. It's like, yeah, let's do it. First, give me that dagger so I can stab you in the neck. But
I don't know. I don't think it'd turn out very well for him.
Probably not. Yeah.
But so they're already on Toman Head, and Rand knows that he has to go to Toman Head. I didn't forget to say, Lord Barthanes is dead.
Oh, so you did get to there. Okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, so we learn about that. The innkeeper Zera tells Tom this right after his altercation with those men. So because he thought Barthanes was behind it. Nope. And that's how we find out Galdrian, the king, is behind this. So I'm curious where this is going to go. I'm curious what Tom can do next.
Till you got to read a chapter. You get to find out some really cool stuff, more Tom stuff. So
so I'm probably going to be. I might be if between working on a video or doing something. I'm going to be doing that tomorrow at the courthouse. And I'm going to be reading Lord of the Rings for the sake of the White Cloaks, and of course, I want to keep reading Great Hunt. So there's a lot of stuff. And now I got the first book of Cosmere. So
it's only 1,000 pages. It's light reading.
Very light reading. I've never read Brandon Sanderson before, so this will be brand new. So,
it's the if you don't like that, you're not gonna like anything probably. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah,
I've gotten 2 million people reading Sanderson all of a sudden, which is awesome for me. If anybody likes it, so so we'll see, I guess. So,
but
sorry,
one last thing I want to talk about, I know because the guy and we're capping it off now. So one last thing, I liked how Penn Fane like made all this shit up about how he's from his family was they were all for waiting for Arthur the King Arthur Pendrag Tamriel. Now they never abandoned their oaths and that they were waiting for them, and how like the Aes Sedai fucked him over, and people the people here are a bunch of assholes and everything. I just loved how like he's just like, we're here to serve and advise. He heard the oath, so he knew exactly what to say, when to say it, and he knew how to he just like, oh, this was passed down from father to son, from mother to daughter, blah blah blah. And I thought that was funny. I thought that was great. And then he's like, you know what? And he tells this guy, this High Lord, about Rand al'Thor. So I'm like, uh oh. Rand al'Thor. I'm gonna be free of you, Rand al'Thor.
Vile dark friend with Trollocs, and
exactly.
He's making him the fall guy. It's good.
He goes off Democrat.
So we have to cut it off here because Pip said if we don't cut it off here, he's gonna leave. He's gonna leave me for good. So I have to cut it off here. And Steve has to go to work.
I gotta go to work.
I told you.
Steve's kids are not gonna eat if he doesn't go to work. So I have to. I have to go to work. So
then apparently I'm playing GoldenEye in the morning. So
you are.
But yeah, so I love this. I want to keep reading this. I want to see how this all plays out. In the end. Seems like everything is going to converge on Tommen Head after all. So so Jordan
prophecy, bro. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
prophecy, bro.
All you have to know about this world is that prophecy is pretty legit.
Prophecy actually matters.
Doesn't always happen the way you might think it happens, but like men's viewings, you take that shit to the bank.
Prophecy is important. Yep. You may interpret it wrong, but then when you find out what it means, you're like, shit, that's what it meant. God damn it. Okay, well, it still works. Fuck.
For example, you said something about 5 Ride Forth. You got to tell us, what's your theory about 5 Ride Forth?
Okay, yeah, this is a good place
to end.
Put it on the record. Your theory? What is 5 Ride Forth? This is a good place to end.
I mean, I was just thinking, 5 riding from Emma's Field.
Okay, 5 riding from Emma's Field. Okay.
And then 4 return. So 1 doesn't make it.
Okay, so you think 1 of the 5 don't make it?
Totally valid theory.
I think that's deducted well. I like that. We all know it's Egwene's mole.
That would actually mean 6 rode forth because you have Egwene and Egwene's
That's true.
mole,
right? I totally
and then 5 return because she has elective laser surgery.
There you go. See, canceled. We did it. We did it, guys.
I thought the mole was like an egg to hatch dragons or something.
That's true. I know you did say that.
Because they do, unlike what Rafe says, they do follow Game of Thrones. They do follow Lord of the Rings, and there's gonna be a dragon in that show, even though it's not in Robert Jordan's work. There's gonna be a dragon.
How are you watching? What is Are you talking about Way of Kings? Sorry, Dane just confused. I know I gotta go, but he confused me. He said, "For fuck's sake, now I need to watch more Way of Kings." Obviously WOK means something else. I don't know how you're watching it, but
maybe he's high as hell and he's just kind of laying there.
He's just like, woo! I can picture it.
I don't know.
It's a cooking channel. Walk cooking.
The Trekkie in me sees
get that Wok Hay going, man. You need to get the
these Wrath of Khan from those letters, from that letter combination. So,
dude, I'm excited. We're gonna have quite the read along now with this Way of Kings thing. I'm excited. So.
Yeah. So that concludes this. That concludes this part 3. So there's going to be one more part. Hopefully I can get it all read within 2 weeks. So that's the plan. So let's go around the horn. What's going on with you, gentlemen? Starting with let's start with Pips. What's going on with you, Pips?
Well, we have you as a guest on the White Cloaks next week with also a Man of Manethrin is going to be there as well. We're doing part 2. We're finishing book 1 of the Lord of the Rings. So that's the first half of Fellowship of the Ring is going to be under our belts at that point. And then I think the following week we're gonna be watching some of the movie. So we got lots of Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Rings content going on with the read along. And I think we got a couple videos dropping this week from Alex and Lady Balefire doing part 3 of the series that they've put together, and then. Alex keeps telling me he's going to drop a Perrin sort of deep dive. We'll say a retrospective on the character Perrin. So go bother Alex Green. Tell him to drop his video.
Drop a video, Alex. You piece of shit. No, I'm kidding.
We're all friends here.
He knows it. He knows I'm right. Come on. Jeez.
Man, all
right,
the
what about
hate.
you?
Was it something I said? I can change.
Yeah, that's what I said. What about you, Nathan? What's going on with you?
Yeah, looking forward to the Lord of the Rings stream on Saturday, 1 p.m. Eastern, I think we decided on. So I'm looking forward to getting all read up on that. A lot more happens with that section of chapters that really kickstarts the whole series. But just doing that. Looking forward to occasionally doing some stuff with Steve with articles and stuff, and then also doing that Way of Kings stuff whenever we can get that one.
Yeah, I gotta get my shit together. So
speaking of getting shit together, I got to get my shit together to do that production for Eye of the World, but that will be forthcoming at some point because I've got to do it. I've already put so much of it in the can. I need to get going. So, but in any case, yeah, that's what I've got going on. Thanks for having me.
Nice. What about you, Steve?
Well, I guess I'm playing something tomorrow, probably. I think tomorrow morning. So, game stream tomorrow morning. I think I said I was going to play GoldenEye, so why not? I don't have anything else better to play right now, so. So I'm working on the Cosmer video with Aldan. That'll hopefully be done soon. We're just building the frame of it, and then record, put some stuff behind it, and then once that's out, probably gonna start quite a bit of Cosmer stuff, hopefully on the channel, and then I of course have 4 or 5 more articles to go through. So the Wheel of Time article videos will return next week as well. I have a doozy. We might have a breaking keyboard situation. So we'll see. But yeah. So lots of stuff going on. So plus maybe we'll get another Nerdporial on the street. We'll see.
I mean, I'll be honest. It was a lot of fun.
It was
a lot of fun. You guys were having a blast watching me navigate through the Chicago at night alone with.
Yeah, I was gonna say we shouldn't be promoting that type of activity. A few Nerdporials on the streets of Chicago, and there might not be any more Nerdporials.
Kids, don't try this at home. He's a professional.
Yeah. Oh boy.
So with me, there's a video I want to try and finish. It's why I'm watching Picard season 3. So there's going to be it's going to be my reasoning and everything.
Because the liver is evil and needs to be punished.
And I was thinking, I don't know. I was thinking,
the night is dark and full of terrors.
I know we're going to be starting that next week. We're going to be watching Picard season 3. Me, Steve, and Alex, 3 of us. So far, I've heard nothing but positive reviews from Mr. Burnett, and I don't know. There's a possibility Dave Cullen, he's also seen it. I've heard he might. I've heard he likes it too. So I'm just waiting to see what he says. That's going to be. I think he's going to be posting something this week too. So they released the first 6 episodes, and apparently a lot of people liked it, but then again, people like stuff all the time now because it's pop. It's acceptable to like stuff instead of to be critical. So when I hear positive stuff, I usually take it with a grain of salt. So, but I think Mr. Burnett is genuine, and I'm going to explain that in my video. I know a lot of people disagree with that, but I'm going to try and I personally think he's genuine. Now the question is, will I think it's good? We'll see. But that's what I want to get done. And then of course, Saturday, Lord of the Rings, gonna be on with guy below me and Nathan. And so I just have to make another intro. I have to update the intro for this one. I'm going to embellish my name. My name's going to take up the entire screen, Nerporial, because I'm just I don't know, because I'm in control of that. So
hey, you're the guest star.
But right after
guest of honor,
special guest of honor, everything, just embellish it. And then right after that, I'm doing another Trekporial with the Golden Age Geeky Day. We're going to be covering the episodes of season 1 that we didn't talk about. So that's going to be a blast. And then of course, I don't know what I'm going to do next Sunday. I'm thinking maybe we'll do a stream next Sunday. You know, maybe we'll talk a little bit about Picard. I'll have to reiterate the story for you guys, since even though it's not going to make any difference because the showrunner is totally different and he's divorcing himself from those previous seasons. Like they got rid of like all the other characters that were in those other seasons. So except for one. So I'm curious what they're going to do with this one character, Raffi, who I completely disliked in the earlier seasons. JL, what you doing, JL? You're such a fucking asshole, JL. You know, Jean-Luc and everything. It's just like, shut the fuck up. Nobody likes you. You live in a trailer park right off of Vasquez Rocks. I'm like, seriously, show, you had to put Vasquez Rocks in the show in California? That's supposed to be the alien planet of multiple planets in the Star Trek universe. Jesus Christ.
Wait a minute. Trailer park? Are you serious?
They introduced her. She lives in a trailer park at Vasquez Rocks in California.
But I thought they had solved all the money issues and no one was poor and stuff in Star Trek.
No, she got fired from Starfleet. Apparently in Starfleet you can get fired because she spoke up against Romulan immigration or whatever. It was stupid. It was stupid.
Wait.
So if you guys are still gonna
she got fired. She got fired for political wrong speech in a socialist society. Shocked. I am shocked.
I have to go, gentlemen. On that, I have to leave. I'm watching this shit with him. God damn. So I'm gonna watch Picard with him for fuck's sake. So great.
You don't have to watch
dumb bastard.
No, of course I shut up. You know I'm watching it with you. Don't do that shit.
But maybe season 3 will be good. Maybe season 3 will be just like Star Trek Nemesis and Star Trek 2 and Star Trek 6. Stuff that we've probably seen before. A bad guy on a ship goes after people and our crew's in danger and blah, 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 blah. It might be enjoyable. Who knows? But it's probably stuff that we've seen before. That's what I'm thinking. So you know what? Let's say goodbye. See you guys. Everybody's got to go.
All right.
Say Charmin up there.
Walk in the light.
And stay Nerporial. All right, and let's get on with the outros.
Steve, get it out there. So more to come on the White Cloaks.
Sounds good.
Yeah, don't ask any questions. Consume White Cloak's product and be excited for next White Cloak product. RLM right there.
That's good.